Well, looky here. This was yesterday. Meta found guilty of child exploitation in New Mexico. Ordered to pay $375 million in damages. Could be a template for other states. No, son. Could be a template for, class, other law firms. Many other law firms. New income stream, son, just busted out on the law scene. Have you heard? Do you listen to satellite radio? Another commercial every break, son. So I guess for the next few years, just like the standard other ambulance chases, and in ambulance chasing there are legitimate injuries, so there's damages. So there's a reason lawyers chase ambulances, and it's a whole business, that alone is a whole industry, just ambulance chasing, and that's where the big money at, son. Major defamation, major cases against major corporations, that's also where the real money's at, too, for lawyers. Oh, my God. Those are the main two. And what's interesting, a whole new industry was just birthed. And I don't know, since these cases got announced that they were going on, lawyers started thinking, where's all the money at? Oh, yeah. And there's plenty of damages going on those websites. Oh my God, me alone, I could write a novel. So, where is the money and where are the damages? Those are the two questions lawyers are always asking themselves. Because that means a fat check for them. Well, the money and the damages are in social media, son. AI companies, oh my God, the things they're doing and have done for so long. They ruined our nation. They allowed Russian propaganda. When's that lawsuit going to come? I guess when everyone really sees that the empire fell and they put it together. And remember, I've been saying it since the court videos, son. Back when they only let me broadcast to 40 people, if I'm lucky. So when the public puts that together, man, that'd be an interesting class action as well. Knowingly allowing enemy propaganda to influence Americans, giving it a platform, accepting the piles of gold until Vlad stole it back. From one of them, anyway. He'll get the rest eventually, don't worry. That'd be a nasty suit, and it's kind of, son. Tim Pool's still on the website, right? Yeah, being promoted right up at the top, baby. Right up here. You'll see him right at the top of the screen. Paid Russian shill Tim Pool, and everyone knows it. And we know you know it. But we getting too much money from Russia that Tim gave us. So we're going to leave him right at the top there. Knowingly, son, Your Honor. Knowingly damaging the whole country. And getting piles of gold for it from Russia and our enemies. For like 2 decades, son. And again, the cherry on top of that is, it's easily provable. Oh my God, is it easily provable? So once the public, puts that little equation together and really understands, I don't know, son. I didn't mean to say all that either. I wanted to point out yesterday, these people that throw me off their websites, I'm sorry. One's a pedophile, another's an adjudicated criminal, or the company is. I don't know if he was there when the nefarious activity went on, but some of them were. Some of the executives, some of the top level people were there. So, yeah, they're criminals. And, you know, they always got some moral on behalf of the mob, whatever, just to get me out of here. Any website, they've all done it. They don't mind doing all that stuff. And then you find out they're in court and they're criminals. They're ruining children's lives. They've ruined our country. I just explained that, how they did that. Still, Tim Pool right at the top, still ruining it. Till the last ash is burnt. You know, the base of all their businesses. Until they made a lot of money, and then they probably based them in the Caymans or something. You think I'm kidding, son? I'm not. So yesterday, Meta found guilty 375 exploitation of the children's, Mr. Zuckerberg. And you're a pedophile. What the fuck, man? All I did is get ganged up on by a bunch of people on your website, and they got really mad because I wasn't getting mad. So I guess they complained. And then, you know, the dangerous Nikki, who's not a pedophile, doesn't exploit children, doesn't sexualize children, doesn't allow them on my platform to sexualize themselves. I'm not hanging with Epstein or any sex traffickers or any underage girls. But you are. You were. And then you write the guidelines and decide who's morally unacceptable to be on your website as you exploit children, take Russian money, put the propaganda out, and ruin our nation. You've already succeeded. You going down too with it, son. Don't worry. We all are. Then we find out you're a pedo in the damn Epstein, at the table with the man, son. You can't say you wasn't there. And then Zuck's bright idea at the end of it. Yo, Jeff, can I get your number, man? You seem like a cool dude. I want to get in on that action. That's the person that threw me off their website. Yesterday, $375 million in damages. Oh, he paid to make a case go away. Paid Donnie to make that happen. And also in court gave Donnie a nice fat settlement. Meta did. In the millions. We all know what that is, son. So I assume, don't get too happy. I assume Google, Zuck the pedo will go to the other orange pedo, and, you know, little envelope be exchanged. Then it gets to the Supreme Court, and these go away. That's what I expect. So don't get too happy. But to me, son, Meta, Google, YouTube, you'll always be exploiters of children to me. You'll always be Russian collaborators, traitors to our nation to me. No matter what the Supreme Court does for you because you paid whoever off. Meaningless to me, son. You is what you is. And you've been gavelled down a criminal, Google. Straight up, not civil, criminal, son. And I'm saying straight up, you're a defamer. You've defamed me. Not by whatever reject from the gutter you allowed to broadcast and talk shit on me about 9, 10 of them. That ain't what I'm talking about, son. I know much better than that. You defamed me. You. The company Gavelled down a criminal, now you exploiting children. Working with Russia, even though he robbed you of $100 million, you're still working with him. Still taking the money. Ruined our country on top of all this. And then Zuck on the pedo list over at Meta. How many morally upright accusations, allegations, defamation have you hurled my direction, Meta and YouTube? And you everything I just said on that list. Isn't that amazing? The inverted world we live in. Where known paid shills for Russia get promoted at the top of the screen because they paying that Russian money directly to Google. And I get thrown off everywhere I go. Isn't that fascinating? And what just happened while I did that other video? I figured the verdict would come in while I was on camera or right after. Because I talked about this in the last video. After, I did my bad singing in the beginning. Meta and YouTube found negligent in landmark social media addiction case. This is the next day after the 375, son. Against Meta. I guess they got no choice because there's about 10,000 other cases waiting for the verdicts on these, and then their suits being put right in if they're not filed already. 10,000, son. I heard a lawyer do the math again. He talked about 500 cases he knows of, waiting, just sitting there for this. I guess they're going to go forward. Eek. So once again, and if Zuck, the pedo, did not pay Donnie, he'd be in court and he would have got gavelled guilty. And that other one, that's why he paid Donnie. To make that other case go away. It was a biggin, son. 375 yesterday on Zuck. That's after the settlement he gave Donnie, I don't know how many months ago that was. Look it up, you'll see it. Then there's the 1 million tribute that every oligarch gave, every tech bro, everybody. Bezos gave another 40. Zuck gave another bribe via a settlement to make his other case go away. But he still got hit on this one. I guess whatever Donnie was asking from Google and Zuck to squash this, I guess they didn't want to pay it. Donnie probably wanted $1 billion from each. Or 5. His greedy, because he knows what the judgments will be, and that's what he would have used as the guide to his decision. The fucking criminal mobster he is. What kind of judgment they looking at? 800 million. Pay me $1 billion, I make it go away. That's too steep, Donnie. All right. Throw yourself at the mercy of the court, then. My grift is fine, son. As he shits his diaper and laughs. So 375 million on Zuck the pedo. That's blue check mark pedo, by the way. Verified. We all saw the picture. We saw the email. We saw it all, son. Greasy Pete in there with you. Fat ass Leon. Look at you motherfuckers. Leon leaving the White House with a black fucking eye. Foot up the and a handout for more of that welfare back. Hey, I gave you the welfare, Leon. And Donnie's 97. I mean, this is the most crooked, nefarious, low rent, just low down criminality. Just, it's gotta be the end, doesn't it? Holy fuck. So the day after Zuck gets hit with the 375, now Google, YouTube, and Meta are about to get hit with a large number. That's on top of what their lawyers charged them. And I'm sure they weren't cheap. They didn't win, though. So again, these companies, they're in court fucking month after month, year after year, for serious shit, son. They either get adjudicated straight up a criminal like Google, or they lose civil case after civil case. Because the behavior, once we see behind the office door and we see what's being discussed in these meetings, we see a direct targeting of children. Like the tobacco companies, like the vape companies. You know you were doing it, so you got to pay the piper, son. Now with this is a whole phenomenon. Now, every 10-year-old, 11-year-old sees the social media where I can be famous. What can I do that'll get people's attention? How much of my life can I devote to this social media thing? Hey, son, I didn't fuck with it till I was like 40. In any kind of remotely serious way. I was like, I want to stay away from that whole nightmare. But you know the story after that. So they either get adjudicated a criminal or they get hit with, $500 million judgments. Or they pay to make cases go away, or they give Donnie a little money. Platform in Russian shill still verified. Taking the Russian money still. Ruining our country still. Then they just give the government all of our information recently. We all saw the headlines. And they're the people. I told you I'd show you who they are, right, son? Way back. They're the people that tell me I'm not allowed to broadcast. I'm the danger, in other words, in this inverted world. Not the adjudicated criminals, not the stalkers, not the mob, not the criminal corporation, gavelled down, adjudicated. Not the one losing civil suit after civil suit, going after children. Intentionally. One of them on the pedo list in the files, Mr. Zuckerberg. Leon, that's another one. In the social media game. And Leon being the Nazi salute guy, how could I forget? In the year of our Lord 2025, was it? I believe. They're the ones that say I can't broadcast or say this or do this on social media. They're the ones that take money out my pocket. They're the ones that defame me. They're the ones that throw me off their website. One more time, in comparison to you, I would just like to remind the class that everyone, stalkers, mobsters, whatever, scumbag. I am not a pedophile. I've never hung out with a sex trafficker. I've never tried to start a mass surveillance state and get digital ID verification online like Mr. Zuckerberg is literally behind. I've never been adjudicated a criminal in court. I've never had criminal charges put against me and had to represent myself in court for a crime other than traffic. And I'm not talking DUI. I never got one of those either. I don't really drink. And I'm not a pedophile like Zuck. My name ain't in the Epstein files. I'm not a pedophile like Leon. I'm not a criminal like the top men at Google. I'm not civilly liable for exploiting children and damaging the children of this nation and the world repeatedly in court, facing 10,000 more lawsuits. In fact, no one sued me at all. Not even a cease and desist. And I say some wild shit, son, don't I? That's why they got to take it down. Because they can't sue. They lose badly. And I say outlandish shit, don't I, son? About several parties. Very serious things. I take it seriously what I say. I don't take it lightly. Not one cease and desist. I talk about the top people. I was talking about the mob before. Not one cease and desist. So that's me, the non-criminal. I don't exploit children. I don't touch children like Zuck, like Leon, like Donnie. That's blue check mark, verified. I don't defame people, hence no cease and desists, hence no lawsuits. I'm gonna make it up. That's why how YouTube defamed me. That's why there was nothing to grab on to, like, you know, being gavelled and adjudicated criminal for monopolistic practices and other things, or being civilly found liable by a judge and a jury for exploiting children. I thought the websites always say in their moral diatribes as they ruin my livelihood that they're here to protect the community. Now they mean their community, and they probably do mean the broader community at large as well. But they keep breaking the law and exploiting children and monopoly and shady, nefarious bullshit. And several are a pedo. It sounds like you're damaging the community. It doesn't sound like you're protecting it. And when you deployed, or you allowed the PR firm that the mob hired to deploy the bots against me and my people and harass us and lie about us and call people ugly and make fun of the death of a dead man and pretend I'm saying bad things in comparison. Again, you say you're protecting the community. I don't know. When I first got here, son, and started doing that rock star shit, the community seemed pretty vicious. And again, I said to all the way back in the court videos, I'm repeating something I said. I said to myself, I didn't think you could do this on social. I didn't know social media was this motherfucking wild. No, it's only this wild when Nikki's there talking about the mob and a dead rock star. That's when it's that wild. Because there's something there, son. And we all knew it, and we all know it. So I took a look at, oh shit, bots, trolls, motherfuckers talking shit left and right. Oh, they don't know where they is. I'm good at that. That's what I thought. I said, okay, this is acceptable. All right, gloves off, really? I'm talking about people making fun of a dead man's son. That either came from the website or a PR firm that the mob hired. One of the two. Or the family themselves. They seem all about it. Because they didn't know who the fuck I was. They thought that I was someone they were just going to steamroll. Thought I was an idiot. But it's those entities. And the mob, Google and Zuck as well, are just an extension of the will of the mob. That's all. The specific mob I was dealing with. They did the work. They helped out. They parroted the defamation. And I want to say something again because I'm seriously considering a lawsuit again. Because it's a slam dunk. There's nothing wrong with raising money to make music. And there is nowhere you will find where I ever said anywhere with any conversation, anything written, nothing. Why? Because it's not real. That I was somehow tricking people into getting money for music by talking about this other stuff and raising money to talk about that other. No, never. And I went back to it for years. The website kept shutting me the fuck down. People kept coming to the comment section saying, move on, Nick. What the fuck? It was 5 years ago. I was still talking about it. Till every last financier fucked off, lost interest, whatever, didn't like me, whatever reason they chose. I was still talking about it. So, you know, this weak-ass, pathetic attempt by a musician friend, his haggard fiance, and, because I could tell just by what happened with her, and the lies they fucking told. All I was a friend to these fucking people. Did nothing to them. Website parrots, whatever lie that cunt told. I remember the conversation, every word of it. And I made sure to talk a certain way with the person, too, because I knew it might blow back. Again, 19 steps ahead of all you cunts. In other words, while I was in the conversation with the person pretending to be my friend, I'm thinking this might blow back. They're trying to make something happen here. I didn't know they were just going to lie, though. You can't do anything about that. And when I picked up the phone, I'm thinking I'm going to talk to my friend. I didn't know there was this scheme to ruin me, and I wasn't talking to humans anymore. I was just talking to rabid animals that wanted to destroy me some way. And boy, did they. So the first channel comes down specifically because of them. And I understand why they waited to do it. Not them too, the company, the mob. I understand that they would have rather died than have any association with me, that they were involved behind the scenes and they were involved in everything. Getting me shut down, complaints, etc. They didn't want to be directly, even though they directly came to my comment section. A subpoena would probably show all their phones or their burner phones or whatever they used. Again, remember, they underestimated me at first. They thought I was a joke. They thought I was a meth head, a right-wing, cultist type person. I guarantee they didn't protect themselves in the beginning. After a while, after it escalated, I'm sure they did. And by protect themselves, I mean use burner phones, devices that won't link back to them. I guarantee in the beginning. And it's there forever in the phone records, son. Forever. That's why I say one subpoena. But that's not the point. And I didn't mean to talk about all this. The point is, Google and Zuck his company were extensions of the mob, and they did the will of the mob. Because the second time I got taken down at Facebook was in the midst of the Cornell thing. Again, private account, not even public, not circulated on their website. About 500 of you joined, I think, quickly. And I didn't announce it. The day I announced it, I said I'm going to put a video over there. It took me all day to get the video up. I put it up on my private account. I announced the account, say the video's going to be there on YouTube. 10 minutes after the video's up, the account's gone. That's Mob. That's Google. That's Meta. So when I say they're an extension of the mob, both of those companies, specifically in my case, they are. And what's great about all your cases you're losing, because you're criminals and liars and you exploit children. And that's adjudicated, son. I'll say it to your lawyer right now. When I bring my case, I guess first request by your lawyer will be, he can't submit anything from those other cases. Good luck with that request. Maybe you'll get it. Maybe you won't. But the jurors will still know. No matter what you do. Because it was front page news. And it's going to be for a while. And they're going to hear the commercials all day, every day. I'm sure they're on regular radio, satellite radio. So if I were to bring a case, I could say, hey, they're an adjudicated criminal. They just got hit with a $500 million judgment. They're about to get hit with another $8 billion judgment once the other 9,000 people sue, because they criminals, they nefarious. They work with the mob. They work in league with Zuckerberg, the pedo. They doing monopoly stuff. That's illegal, son. That's a crime. And I'm not just some half-ass defamatory shitty website saying that in my community guidelines defamation accusation section. That's a court, son. That's a courtroom. So, you know, it's real. It's legitimate. It means a lot more. But if I were to bring a case, I could just point back to these other cases. And be like, you know, this is the reputation of these people. They in court every 3 seconds. They get gavelled down criminally. Everything. And you know, when people want to bring up the accusations they made against me, the defamation, literally, like I'm calling it the wrong thing. It's defamation. That I somehow scammed people or something. When I've never been accused of scamming anyone. I've never been sued for scamming someone. I've never gotten a message from someone that says you scammed me. The only people saying that, again, the mob and their bots and trolls they sent. And this company. That's an adjudicated criminal. So, you know, I just thought I'd bring all that up again. I guess it's appropriate. Because once again, they're getting hit with judgments for exploiting children. And this doesn't even include the case that pedo Zuckerberg made go away because he paid Donnie off. And they dare, son. They dare tell me or you who can speak, who can't speak, who can have an account, who can't. who is doing the right and moral thing and who isn't. It's astounding, the hypocrisy, wouldn't you say? I would. Have a nice day. Adjudicated criminals, pedophiles, that, run major companies. I'm interested in seeing the number. A jury found that the companies harmed a young user with design features and were addictive and led to her mental health distress, you say. I've never been accused of putting children in mental health distress by selling digital crack and having meetings about how can we make that digital crack more addictive to the little children's. What's wrong with you people? Zuck touching children? What is this? And again, you folks, you're the morally upright that says what I can and can't do, when I can broadcast, when I can't, when I can put a post up on a picture, a link to a video that you don't have. Again, it's nothing personal. Twitter does quick news clips. You don't. You do long videos. Nothing personal, son. Didn't mean to offend. Yeah, they're the people, trying to paint me as nefarious for daring to have a PayPal. They're getting hit with $500 million judgments and getting adjudicated a criminal. Again, we live in inverted, backward ass land. But they had to come up with some lie to discredit me back then because there's no actual crimes. There's no actual situations. Just like that musician friend and his ugly fiance had to fucking they had to create, something out of nothing. There was nothing there. There was no crime. There was not me admitting to a crime, not me admitting to anything nefarious. There was me saying, hey, dude, that video I made, that's the beginning of me trying to raise money for you to make music. That's what I was trying to do. That specific video, that's it. And getting in an argument with some ugly bitch who didn't want me to show me her face, that's how ugly she must be, and it was calling me ugly. So I just explained to her what different experiences with women I had and things women said to me. I didn't ask them to say the shit. Just shit women said to me. So two things happened in the interaction. None of it crimes, none of it nefarious, except for what that bitch was doing. Let me get him saying things about women so I can paint it as something else. No, it was an ugly bitch calling me ugly. And I didn't know her intentions at the moment. I was wondering if it was going to go somewhere nefarious. Once she answered the phone pretending to be, or called me, I can't remember how they either called me, or no, they called me. That's right. Called me using his phone, pretending to be him. She didn't, on Skype, messaging me first. It would have been a phone call if I thought it was him. Once I realized, from the first message, I realized it wasn't him. I was like, ah, fuck. I knew immediately what it was. His wife, fiance, whatever the fuck they had going on. I knew it was that person. And I knew some horrible shit was going to happen. And I said, there goes that friendship. That's a damn shame. Good musician, too. Oh, well. So, as we're in the conversation, she's trying to get something she can use. That's all. The only reason for what took place, because again, our relationship started with her lying about who she was, acting like I'm doing something nefarious. Bitch, you're pretending to be your boyfriend in text messages to try and, I don't know what, get my channel taken down. Again, I don't come down to McDonald's and harass you at the fucking fryer, honey, do I? Yet so many of you people had no problem fucking with what I do for a living. I know what you chose wasn't exciting. It was boring, you're miserable, you're ugly, you're fat, whatever's wrong with you. So many of you out there. And you're dissatisfied. That's not my fucking problem! And you, the adjudicated criminal, and Mr. Pedo Zuckerberg, you have to work with the mob, right? Because they down with what, you down with. Criminal activity. So why wouldn't you stick up for each other? Or you're worried about a lawsuit? No, you weren't. You knew what I was saying was true. I don't get called to court like you cunts for lying. You do. Anyway, criminals. Liars. People that pretend to be their boyfriend. People that Yoko Ono the band before it's even a band. All that took place on that phone call, that was the big evidence that they've never shown you. That's how big it is. And I gave him permission. Because I've already said word for word what I said on the phone call. That I remembered. Excuse me, the text messages on Skype. So I realize she's pretending to be her boyfriend after the first text. I realize it's not him, so I know exactly who it is. Somehow we got to a point where she was just saying things. I wasn't even responding to him. I was writing things to him. Like, us musicians, we get stuck with people like that. I'm surprised you're with a person like that. Because you seem cool. I said, when you're done with her at some point in the future, whatever happens with you two, we can still be friends later. I won't hold it against you. I was just writing shit like that. And I also wrote, if he loves you, because I knew it was all coming from the devil and some jealous-ass chunky bitch. That was worried she about to lose her man or something because he's going to get famous, whatever. I don't know. I know exactly what it was. So I said something like, if he loves you, he'll stay with you, I just said that straight up. Somehow we got to where she was calling me ugly, and I just told her a few things that women had said recently. To me, directly. Several I had spoken to on the phone. Heard it with my own ears. Didn't ask him to say it again. And that would come across as me boasting or something. No, it's a bitch calling me ugly. And I was like, all right, let's debate this out. But again, I didn't realize I was dealing with something of the imp. Someone planning on some nefarious action against me. Someone who I don't even know existed. Using mob talking points. And I explained to him, because I had done a video about him and me. And I explained to him I wanted to raise money for him to do music. And that was the beginning of that process. Never did I say, I'm going to do music now. I want to be a rock star. I tricked those morons. I got their money and left. Nope. I got censored. My first channel's gone. My second channel's gone. My rep, gone. Thanks to an adjudicated criminal that can just write, scammer, put that up for the whole world to see, for the mob, because we know what they did, and take all your work and income away. Like that. But again, the good thing, the only people that's ever called me a scammer, worthless criminal website, community guidelines effort to smear me for the mob. Who the fuck are they? They're lucky to have me, son. I ain't a criminal like them. I ain't a liar. I ain't a defamer. I don't work with the mob, son. I'm not a pedophile like Zuck, like Leon. So as far as I'm concerned, scumbags, someone wrote that Zuck was CIA connected to. I like that. On Twitter yesterday. I think I have it. I'll show it to you at some point. I had that same feeling too, son. Came out of nowhere, big overnight. CIA. Fail CIA. Musk CIA. Links to it. Money. Welfare. The okay to blanket the world, and especially America, with the project. That will eventually lead us all to a digital presence and a surveillance state. And us all tied into that digital presence. That was the point of it all. This thing I'm talking into, this thing, all to get us here. Where your existence has to be tied to the digital presence. But anyway, I need to finish this. I haven't even eaten today. I told this dude I was trying to raise money so he could do music. I wanted to do music with him. I think it would have been great. And it's a tragedy it didn't happen. Probably good for me personally because I got some other shit done. And I think I put it up right around when she put her stuff up, but that's beside the point too. That's something else. So I'm glad it happened for that purpose, for that reason. Because it pushed me to do it by myself. And that needed to be done. And the music I did do, I already explained this again. That was one person that financed it. One specific person that I discussed prior. Hey, I want to do this. This is how I think I can do it. An iPad, a little microphone, even though I had a stage microphone that any singer could use. I wanted something you could plug right the fuck in. No wire. And no signal. Plug that bitch right in. To the phone. iPhone. You flip it, now you got a microphone in your hand. Digital, perfect, beautiful. I never tried to sell a piece of music. And that one person that financed it, I showed them the receipts. They knew what they were paying for. They knew what they were going to get. Your songs have been delivered. It only took me like 7 years, 6 years. I'm sorry. I'm not a professional mixer. And I had the mob trying to kill me. And every stalker and crazy person, musician friend, trying to ruin me and lie about me. And boy, did they. They did as much damage as they could, son. And they would have done more if they could. Best day existence. The mob too, they were trying to do permanent damage, son, you hear me? So I had all that going on, so I couldn't be, full-time thinking about mixing songs I did the best I could at the time. Didn't understand what I was doing to the degree I needed to. They're done now. Your product is delivered. Anyway, I showed the person the receipts. They knew what they were paying for. They knew what they got as each one was finished back then. They know what they got now. They financed all of it. And I already had a bunch of instruments. I explained that to you. And never once did I intend, hey, I'm just tricking everybody so I can be a rock star musician. I didn't want to be a rock star, son. And rock stars don't give the music away. That was my intent with it. If I was a famous known musician, then I'd sell the music. But I'm not. I'm nobody. No one even wants to listen to my shit. I totally understand. People like packaged and professional. I know. Nothing wrong with that. That's what they like. And they like the bands they like. Whatever. I'm not offended. My intent was always to give it away. Even if I raised money to make music, I wasn't going to try and make a profit straight up, sell it. I wanted the money on the front end, the same way the broke-ass musicians, when they're 19, 18, 17, or later in life, they go to a record company with a handout, and they say, we want to make music. Can you finance? Get us in the studio, get us started. And there'll be a return afterward. Will you do that for us, Mr. Old Man with money, or old woman? That's how it goes. So I thought, I'll just public finance. And whatever little money comes in, make whatever songs out of it, give it back to the people for free. Everybody's happy. That was my intent, and I never intended to stop talking about the Cornell thing, not once. In fact, again, I was doing it 6 years later, and people were telling me, Nick, let it go, man. What the fuck? You're still talking about? What the fuck? You can't win. If I get censored and I do music for a few months, never once saying I'm never talking about Cornell again. I never said that to anyone, wrote it, thought it. Doesn't exist. People back then, oh, you ran off with our money. Where'd I run off to? I'm still on social media, one. And I'm going to go back to it, son. My channel's censored. If I breathe wrong, they take it down. They took it down anyway. Over this little stunt with the musician friend. And again, all I did with this to this guy, I put his music on a YouTube channel, on a social media page that actually had followers and reach and was gaining strongly. You know what he said to me after I put his first song up? He was a little mad I put the song up. I jumped the gun a little bit. I was so excited about it. He was a little mad. He's like, I wanted to tweak just a couple things. And he's a good mixer. He knows what to do. Obviously by the finished product. So I jumped the gun. I was hype about it. I was happy about him, hype about that he had actual talent. So many people make music, but they don't have talent. So I jumped the gun and I put it up, and everyone loved it. And it was getting more and more plays every day. And I wasn't saying, hey, you got to pay me. I want something out of this. No nefarious intent. Just, I liked the guy. He was a nice guy. He was talented. I was like, I got a platform. He obviously wanted to do music at some point. He made these serious recordings with a band. Let me throw it out there. I think the people that watch my channel might like it. And you guys liked it. A lot. Everyone. And the first video ever that got taken down was his song video. YouTube sent me a message that they took that down. but they never really took it down. And I assumed it was taken down. I didn't go look. So I go right to the backup channel that was already made with, 500 subscribers, whatever. Put it right up there. And all the trolls and bots were pissed off because they didn't think I had already knew what the adjudicated criminal Google would do, the mob, everybody. I already knew. So I made it like 3 backup channels at the time, 4, something like that, in preparation for the inevitable shutdown. They let me go on for a while, and I was saying outlandish shit, cursing my ass off, because that's the example I saw in my comment section coming at me. Viciousness, man, claws and teeth out, curse words, all kinds of great stuff. I'm like, oh, it's like this? Okay. So I jumped in the arena. I said, these are the rules? Okay. So I learned from watching you, Dad. That's what you were allowing on your website. So I was like, I'll dive into that pool. I'm not afraid of it. These people ain't shit to me. The bots, the trolls, the mobster friends. Who the fuck are they? They're nothing. They're fucking amoebas. But it was the attacking the audience that was the problem. You guys weren't expecting it. You didn't know about it. You just liked Chris Cornell, most of you. And you thought something shady might have happened. And you were getting attacked tooth and nail. I had to delete people every day. But anyway. So I think I'm doing something nice for the guy. And one of the first things he said to me after the first song was up, and it got about 3,000 some plays in a couple days, 2-3 days, maybe not even that long. People liked it. And I thought the music was good enough. This guy could have a music career right now. He's on that level. With what he made in the past. With his band, I don't know what happened to all them. The shit was good enough to post on social media. It's stacked up against any, rock song out there. I thought. Quality-wise, everything. Sound quality. And people liked it and had about 3,000 some plays. And dude says, my music's never gotten that number before. That many people seeing it. And I was glad I could help, man. At the time. I didn't say that to him. He didn't say thank you, or he might have. I can't remember. But it obviously meant something to him, and it's his music got exposure and it never got. And that's the problem. There's a million good bands out there. Can you get people to come watch you, listen, take you serious, give you their time? Instead of just turning the radio on, listen to what they listen to every day that they like. Not easy. That's the real trick to it. A business, a band, either one. How do you get in front of people? Because Madison Square Garden isn't begging performers to come perform. In fact, it probably costs $2 million just to perform there with your crew and all the expense of it. There's not an arena for this for everybody that wants it, and we all know that. There's very few openings. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. He said to me, my music never got those number 3,000 whatever plays. And I knew it would get much, much more. Because it was in that cycle where people kept listening to it. That means it's good. That means people like it. That means, for a while, it'll probably get some nice numbers. I was shocked. One of my songs that I put up, I'm surprised YouTube let that happen. They must have shut it down or something. Overnight, it got 1.1 thousand likes. I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting that. But it's the most, what do I call it? The most close to a mainstream pop song that you can get from me. That's why it got that. It's a shame the real work can't get that, but whatever. It's what people like, man. That's what's mainstream now. Nothing I can do about that. I was surprised to see that. I was surprised that YouTube allowed that. I was surprised people liked it that much. But if any of them, the one that people are going to like will be that one. I already knew that before I put them back up. But I didn't think it'd get 1.1 thousand likes overnight when I woke up, because I'm used to seeing 3, 4. YouTube don't give me no views, man. You know what they do to me. I don't want no one seeing my shit, no matter what it is. So I wake up, I look at one at 1.1 thousand likes overnight. Damn. I'm gonna go move to Cali now. No. So he was like, my music never got numbers like that. And I was, I was hype about putting the next one up and the next one. I wanted to know how many he had. It turned out in the end he had about 3, 4, 5 maybe. I can't remember, that were solid. And I put about, I think in total, 3 or 4 of them up, and everyone loved them all. So I think I'm helping the man. Silly me. And I wasn't, say, give me money for, give me, pay me for the, like anybody else would do. Because that's all people are about, man. No, I was just happy that people were watching the videos. I was happy that I got contacted by this musician who actually fucking had talent for once. Because that's rare, man. And I was happy to put his fucking songs up for nothing, not asking nothing. So he could get famous. I wasn't getting famous. Girls weren't falling in love with my voice on them songs. People weren't hitting the replay button for me. For him. And I did that. And without me, that wouldn't have happened. No one would even know his name. And I did that out of the kindness of my heart. My repayment was a knife in the back and my livelihood ruined. And my rep ruined. That was my repayment. So now you know. Anyway, people like them, adjudicated criminals, pedophiles, people that are in court every day with shit like this, exploiting children. They're the ones that tell me I can't broadcast, I can't do this, I can't say that, I can't live stream. Those are special features. You can't put a post up. You can't put a link to a fucking 2-minute Twitter video because we want everyone staying here. And we don't like you. That's what I got to deal with. And I'm none of those things that they are. And they are the moral standard. When you get the notification that something you've done has violated their community standards or guidelines. Hey, if you had bought ads and worked for Russia, community guidelines wouldn't have mattered. You'd still be promoted right at the top of the screen. But me, the non-criminal, non-pedophile, non-getting accused of things in court and then paying, getting hit for $300 million judgments, not exploiting children. I'm the one that's too dangerous. An inverted world where tech bros and a fat orange psychopath in a diaper control what people see. Have a wonderful day.